Welcome, dear friend. As twilight deepens and the world outside grows hushed, let us journey together to a land of ancient wonders, where golden sands stretch beneath a canopy of stars. Holding secrets of ages past, the air grows cool, carrying the faint scent of desert blooms and distant waters, inviting your mind to wander far from the cares of today, towards an era of monumental dreams. Tonight, our minds will drift back thousands of years to the fertile banks of the mighty Nile to witness the incredible, unfolding story of the Great Pyramid of Giza's meticulous construction. We'll explore the immense dedication of a nation, the brilliant, almost intuitive engineering, and imagine the life of a worker, one among many, who helped raise this colossal monument, a beacon of human endeavor reaching for eternity. Our story begins in the reign of Pharaoh Khufu, a powerful and ambitious ruler of Egypt's fourth dynasty, who envisioned a tomb unlike any seen before, a magnificent stairway to the heavens. This pyramid was not merely a final resting place, but a profound statement of divine kingship, a complex spiritual machine designed for resurrection, ensuring the pharaoh's successful journey into the afterlife and his eternal rebirth among the gods. It was to be a vessel for his Ka, his life force, and a home for his Ba, his soul's personality, allowing him to interact with both the world of the living and the realm of the deities. The site chosen with great care was the Giza Plateau, a solid limestone bedrock overlooking the lush, fertile Nile Valley, strategically positioned near the bustling capital city of Memphis. This location offered not only stable ground and nearby quarries, but also a prominent stage, visible for miles, asserting the pharaoh's power and his connection to the sun god Ra. Hemiunu, Khufu's vizier, a man of immense intellect and possibly a relative of the pharaoh, was entrusted with this monumental task, overseeing every intricate detail from the initial sacred survey to the placement of the final gleaming capstone. His plans were meticulous, drawn perhaps on papyrus or smoothed limestone ostraca, requiring an advanced understanding of geometry, astronomy for precise alignment, and logistics on an unprecedented scale. This grand undertaking was a testament to Egypt's sophisticated knowledge, its centralized organization, and the deep spiritual convictions that fueled such extraordinary efforts for their divine ruler. Thousands of skilled artisans, master stonemasons, keen-eyed surveyors, and strong laborers were summoned from across the unified kingdom of Upper and Lower Egypt, ready to serve. These were not slaves, as sometimes mistakenly portrayed, but respected workers, citizens contributing to a sacred national project, their labor a form of civic and religious duty. Many were farmers, who during the Nile's annual inundation, when their fields lay dormant under life-giving waters, would travel to Giza, offering their strength and skill to their god-king. This seasonal rhythm of life, dictated by the great river, provided a dedicated workforce each year, their agricultural knowledge of cycles, perhaps even informing their understanding of enduring monuments. They were organized into efficient divisions, or phylae, and smaller gangs, often with evocative names like Friends of Khufu or Drunkards of Menkaure, fostering camaraderie and friendly competition. These team names, found inscribed by the workers themselves, speak of a human element, a touch of humor and pride amidst the colossal scale of their daily tasks and shared purpose. These workers were housed in a purpose-built town near the pyramid, a sprawling settlement complete with bakeries producing thousands of loaves, breweries supplying vital beer, and even medical facilities. Archaeological evidence reveals this town with its organized streets and dwellings, indicating a surprising level of care for the well-being of the workforce, including access to protein-rich diets and medical attention for injuries. Imagine the dawn chorus of activity, the murmur of voices, the smell of baking bread mingling with the desert air, as thousands prepared for another day of shaping eternity from raw stone. The first light would catch the rising structure, a daily reminder of their progress, as tools were gathered and assignments given by overseers. The desert silence yielding to purposeful sound. The primary building material was nummulitic limestone, quarried locally from the Giza plateau itself, its fossil-rich composition forming the core of the pyramid's immense structure, block by heavy block. These core blocks, rougher in finish but structurally vital, were extracted with copper tools and wooden wedges, a testament to ingenuity in an age before harder metals were common. For the outer casing, a finer, white Tura limestone was selected, prized for its purity and brightness, brought from quarries across the Nile, its polished surfaces designed to gleam brilliantly. This journey from Tura, involving careful extraction and river transport, was a significant undertaking, ensuring the pyramid would have a jewel-like, smooth exterior reflecting the sun's rays. Deep within the pyramid, for the king's burial chamber and its protective passages, massive granite blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons, were transported from Aswan over 500 miles to the south. The Aswan granite, known for its hardness and beautiful pinkish hue, was chosen for its durability and symbolic strength, deemed fitting for the pharaoh's eternal sanctum. These colossal stones journeyed down the Nile on great barges, specially constructed vessels, a feat of navigation and heavy transport, meticulously timed with the river's annual flood. The inundation allowed these heavy barges to float closer to the plateau's edge, minimizing the arduous overland journey, showcasing a deep understanding of the river's cycles. Once at Giza, teams of hundreds of men, using strong ropes made of papyrus or palm fibers, and perhaps wooden rollers or lubricated slipways, would haul these monoliths across the sands. This was a slow, arduous procession, requiring immense coordination and collective effort. The air filled with chants and the rhythmic creak of timber under immense strain. The precision of the stonework remains astounding even by modern standards. Casing stones were cut and fitted so perfectly that a knife blade often cannot be inserted between them. A true marvel. This incredible accuracy was achieved using simple but effective tools: copper chisels for shaping, hard dolerite hammers for pounding, and fine sand as an abrasive for smoothing surfaces. Surveyors used plumb bobs for verticality, A-frame square levels for horizontality, and sighting instruments, perhaps a merquette, to ensure the pyramid S-base was perfectly level, and its sides aligned to the cardinal points with astonishing accuracy. The pyramid's alignment to true north is incredibly precise, a feat achieved by observing the stars, demonstrating a sophisticated knowledge of celestial movements. It is believed that enormous ramps, perhaps a long straight one, or possibly a series of ramps wrapping around the pyramid, were constructed of mud brick and rubble to haul the stones upwards. The exact nature of these ramps is still debated by scholars, with theories including internal ramps or sophisticated levering systems, each presenting its own engineering challenges and solutions. Leverage was undeniably key. Wooden levers, rockers, and counterweights would have been employed to maneuver the massive blocks into their final positions, a painstaking process requiring immense coordination and skill. Each placement was a critical step, with overseers ensuring every stone fit snugly, contributing to the overall stability and geometric perfection of the rising structure. Imagine a worker, perhaps named Amos, his skin burnished by the sun, part of a team, his muscles straining as they guide a heavy stone along a prepared track. The foreman's rhythmic chant, the site was a veritable city in itself, a hive of organized labor where specialists in metallurgy constantly sharpened and reforged copper tools, which wore down quickly against the hard stone. Carpenters crafted and repaired heavy-duty sledges, rollers, and levers from precious imported wood, like cedar, essential for moving and positioning the massive blocks of stone. Potters were endlessly busy, making countless clay jars for water, beer, and food storage, while rope makers twisted tough plant fibers into strong cables, essential for hauling and lifting. Every craft played a vital role, a complex interplay of skills and materials, all directed towards the singular goal of completing the pharaoh's eternal home. As the pyramid neared its apex, the outer casing of polished Tura limestone would have been laid meticulously from the top down, smoothing the stepped core into perfect, sloping sides. This delicate operation, performed high above the ground, required exceptional skill to ensure each casing stone fit perfectly, creating a seamless, gleaming surface. Imagine the breathtaking moment, the capstone, the pyramidion, perhaps gilded with gold or made of electrum, a natural alloy of gold and silver, was set in place, the culmination of decades of effort. This crowning element, shining brilliantly at the pyramid's peak, would have symbolized the sun's rays, connecting the pharaoh directly with the solar deity Ra. The Great Pyramid, when finished, would have shone with a dazzling white brilliance under the fierce Egyptian sun, its surface smooth and reflective, a truly awe-inspiring, almost supernatural sight. It would have appeared as a giant, shimmering jewel against the desert landscape, visible from many miles away, a beacon of the pharaoh's power and divine status. It stood as the tallest man-made structure on Earth for over 3,800 years, a silent, powerful guardian on the edge of the vast Sahara Desert, a testament to enduring vision. Its sheer height and mass were intended to inspire awe and reverence, reinforcing the pharaoh's unique position as an intermediary between the gods and humanity. Inside, a complex system of precisely engineered passages and chambers, including the Queen's Chamber, the Grand Gallery, and the King's Chamber, led to Khufu's intended burial spot. These internal structures were designed not only to protect the pharaoh, his mummy, and his funerary treasures, but also to facilitate his spiritual journey into the afterlife. The Grand Gallery, with its high, corbelled ceiling and intricate construction, is an architectural marvel in itself, demonstrating the builder's sophisticated understanding of structural engineering and symbolic design. Its ascending path may have represented the pharaoh's journey towards the heavens, a ramp to the stars, lined with symbolic niches and benches. Above the king's chamber, several layers of massive granite beams formed relieving chambers, ingeniously designed to distribute the immense weight of the masonry above, protecting the burial room. Air shafts, or star shafts, aligned with specific constellations or stars, pointed from the king's and queen's chambers, perhaps intended to allow the pharaoh's soul to ascend to the circumpolar stars, the realm of the immortals. The precise astronomical alignments of these shafts continue to fascinate researchers, suggesting a deep connection between the pyramid's architecture and Egyptian celestial beliefs. The worker, Amos, now older, his body bearing the marks of years of labor, might look upon the finished pyramid with a mixture of profound exhaustion, immense relief, and overwhelming awe. He would remember the camaraderie with his fellow workers, the shared meals under the shade of temporary shelters, the moments of laughter and song that lightened the toil. He would recall the unifying purpose that bound them all to this sacred task, a shared commitment to their pharaoh and their gods, a contribution to the cosmic order. He knew he had played a part, however seemingly small in the grand scheme, in creating something eternal, a structure that would speak of his civilization's power, artistry, and deep faith for countless generations. The sheer scale of the endeavor, the millions of tons of stone quarried, transported, and placed with such breathtaking precision, speaks volumes of their ingenuity, organization, and unwavering belief. This was not just about building a tomb for a ruler. It was about affirming cosmic order, ma'at, ensuring the continuity of life, and connecting the earthly realm with the divine. The dedication was immense, a project spanning approximately 20 years, consuming vast resources and the focused labor of a generation, all directed towards this singular, monumental goal. The engineering was revolutionary, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible in their time, using principles of physics and geometry that still impress architects and engineers today. From the quarrying of impossibly large stones, using relatively simple tools, to their precise placement, hundreds of feet in the air, every step was a testament to human problem-solving and skill. The worker's perspective reminds us that this colossal structure was not built by faceless drones, but by thinking, feeling individuals with lives, families, hopes, and a deep sense of purpose. They were skilled craftsmen, artisans, and laborers, proud of their work, contributing to a project that defined their era and left an indelible mark on the landscape of human history. Their sweat, their skill, their intelligence, and their spirit are embedded in every stone, a silent but powerful testimony to their lives and the civilization that conceived such a grand vision. The pyramid became a focal point for the religious and economic life of the kingdom, a project that unified the people and showcased the pharaoh, his divine authority, and his role as shepherd of his nation. Even the tools they used, simple copper chisels that needed constant resharpening and heavy dolerite pounders, seem humble in comparison to the monumental scale of their achievement, highlighting their incredible resourcefulness. The organization required to manage such a vast workforce, to coordinate the intricate supply chains, and to maintain progress consistently over 2 decades was itself a feat of administrative genius. Consider the sound of the desert wind, as it might have whistled around the smooth, polished casing stones, a sound that would echo through millennia, a timeless song of ancient times. The stars at night, undimmed by modern city lights, would have seemed incredibly close and brilliant, viewed from the Giza plateau, with the pyramid silhouetted against the Milky Way, a man-made mountain touching the heavens. The Nile, the eternal lifeblood of Egypt, flowed nearby, its dark waters reflecting the moonlight, having carried the very stones that formed this magnificent structure, linking its creation to the land's sustenance, the beliefs that fueled its construction, in the potent magic of the afterlife, in the absolute divinity of the pharaoh, in the critical balance of cosmic order, were as powerful as any tool or material. This structure was envisioned as a potent bridge between worlds, a sacred place where the earthly and the divine were meant to meet, ensuring the pharaoh's successful passage, and, through him, Egypt's continued prosperity. The sheer ambition of it, to create something so vast, so perfectly formed, so enduring, speaks to a deep human desire to leave a tangible mark, to transcend mortality, to reach for the eternal. The silence that now surrounds the pyramid in the quiet of the night is filled with the echoes of their strenuous efforts, the whispers of their long ago lives, the enduring spirit of their incredible achievement. It stands not just as a tomb for one man, but as a profound symbol of human potential, of what can be accomplished with shared vision, unwavering dedication, and remarkable ingenuity. The Great Pyramid of Giza is a story written in imperishable stone, a grand narrative of faith, power, collective effort, and the enduring strength of the human spirit against the relentless sands of time. It reminds us of the deep, almost mystical connections ancient people felt to the cosmos, to their pantheon of gods, and to the cyclical, eternal nature of life, death, and rebirth. The shadows lengthen around its immense base, as they did thousands of years ago, a timeless sentinel watching over the land of Egypt, a testament to a civilization's grand and enduring dream. And as we imagine those ancient builders, their day's work finally done, finding well-earned rest under the same canopy of stars we see tonight, we too can feel a connection to their monumental efforts. Their lasting legacy is not just the stone structure itself, but the powerful story of human collaboration, intricate skill, and the enduring quest to create something truly timeless and magnificent. Let the quiet grandeur of this ancient wonder soothe your thoughts as you prepare for rest, a reminder of the incredible achievements that lie within the vast span of human history. As you drift towards sleep, may you feel the profound peace of the desert night and the timeless presence of this incredible monument to human aspiration, ingenuity, and enduring skill. May your dreams be as peaceful and profound as the silent stars that have watched over the Great Pyramid for millennia. A gentle and fitting end to our shared journey tonight. Welcome, dear listener, to this quiet haven where time slows its inexorable pace, yielding to whispered tales from the depths of ages. When the world was different, Yet human aspirations and dreams echoed our very own. Tonight, our thoughts will embark on a gentle journey, not through space, but through time, to the very heart of the mighty, sprawling Roman Empire, a civilization of unparalleled grandeur and complexity. We shall endeavor to live a day through the eyes of a senator, Lucius Valerius, a man vested with considerable power and weighty responsibility, his life inextricably linked with the fate and fortune of the eternal city. Let us imagine the soft, rosy dawn breaking over the famed 7 hills of Rome, and listen intently to the awakening symphony of the city as we prepare to immerse ourselves in the daily routines and majestic rituals of a long past, glorious era. Our senator, Lucius Valerius, awakens in his spacious domus, his grand and elegantly appointed house, nestled on one of Rome's prestigious hills, perhaps the Palatine or Esquiline, as the first delicate rays of sunlight barely touch the intricate mosaic floors of his central atrium. The profound silence of the earliest morning is broken only by the muffled, distant sounds of the awakening city, the faint, rhythmic creak of unseen carts, the indistinct voices of merchants preparing their wares for a new day in the bustling, narrow streets far below. He begins his day with a cool, invigorating ablution, the water drawn from a cistern and brought by attentive household slaves to his cubiculum, his private bedroom, after which he is helped by a personal valet to don his fresh linen tunic and a pristine white toga with its distinctive purple border, the latus clavus, the undeniable mark of his high senatorial status. This toga, praetexta, heavy with tradition and symbolism, is not merely clothing, but a potent symbol of his authority, his esteemed belonging to the senatorial class, a visible and constant reminder of his solemn duties to Rome, its gods, and its people. Then comes the significant time for the salutatio, the formal morning reception of his clients, a diverse array of Roman citizens seeking his patronage, his sage advice, or his influential assistance in their myriad affairs, a vital and time-honored part of his public life and social obligations. Plebeians hoping for a small gift of food or money, the sportula, freedmen expressing their loyalty, and even other aristocrats seeking alliances or favors, come to pay their respects, ask for intercession, or offer their specialized services, thereby strengthening the complex, interwoven web of Roman social and political connections. Lucius listens attentively and patiently to each petitioner, his demeanor calm and dignified, sometimes giving quiet instructions to his hovering secretaries, promising his support where appropriate, or offering wise, considered counsel, for his influence is built not only on ancestral wealth and land, but also on the earned respect and loyalty of his extensive clientele. After the last of the morning's visitors finally depart, he partakes in a light breakfast, the ientaculum, usually consisting of bread dipped in wine or olive oil, perhaps some olives, fresh cheese, or seasonal fruit like figs or grapes, preparing himself mentally and physically for a long and undoubtedly busy day ahead, accompanied by his lictors, solemn attendants carrying the fasces, bundles of rods bound with a red strap, sometimes including an axe, potent symbols of his imperium, his authority to command and punish, and a retinue of his more important clients, Lucius Valerius proceeds with measured steps towards the Roman Forum, the vibrant center of Rome's political, religious, commercial, and social life. He might choose to travel in a cushioned litter, a palanquin borne on the shoulders of strong, uniformed slaves, shielding him from the morning sun and the press of the crowd. Or he might decide to walk, thereby demonstrating his accessibility to the common people and exchanging formal greetings with fellow senators and acquaintances along the way. The narrow, often winding streets of Rome are already teeming with vibrant, noisy life. Artisans in their small tabernae open their shutters, displaying their wares. Merchants in the markets loudly call out to potential customers, praising the quality of their goods. Children, free from school for a while, run on their errands or play simple games, and the very air is filled with a rich mixture of aromas: freshly baked bread from the pistrina, pungent incense wafting from nearby temples in the general, earthy hubbub of a densely populated ancient metropolis. Swift-footed couriers, carrying important messages, rush past. City watchmen, the dedicated vigiles, patrol the streets, maintaining order and looking out for fires. And from the high windows of the towering insula, the multi-story apartment blocks where the majority of ordinary Roman citizens lived, drift snippets of animated conversations, arguments, and occasional bursts of laughter. Arriving at the Forum Romanum, a vast, paved open space surrounded by impressive structures, Lucius beholds majestic, columned temples dedicated to Jupiter, Saturn, and Vesta, grand basilicas like the Basilica Aemilia or Julia, where courts of law convened and business was transacted, and the revered rostra, the speaker's platform adorned with the captured prows of warships, from which Cicero and other famed orators had delivered speeches that shaped the course of Roman history. The undisputed heart of political life within the Forum is the Curia, the Senate House, perhaps the venerable Curia Hostilia, or, in a later period, the newer Curia Julia, commissioned by Caesar. And it is towards this imposing, often austere building that our senator is headed to attend an important session of the Roman Senate. Inside the hallowed Curia, an atmosphere of profound solemnity and ingrained dignity prevails, though the ensuing debates can sometimes become quite heated and intensely personal. For here, within these walls, the fates of millions of people across the vast empire and its sprawling territories are discussed and ultimately decided. Senators, robed in their immaculate togas, some looking weary from prior engagements, others animated with anticipation, take their designated seats on tiered marble benches that line the long walls of the rectangular hall, their faces serious and focused as they await the formal commencement of the day's session. The presiding consul, or another senior magistrate, formally opens the meeting with a prayer or sacrifice to ensure divine favor before announcing the day's agenda. It could be the intricate discussion of a proposed new law, the complex governance of distant provinces, a momentous declaration of war, or the negotiation of peace. Pressing financial matters, such as taxation or public works, or important religious ceremonies and appointments. Lucius listens intently, his expression unreadable, to the detailed reports delivered by various magistrates and the often lengthy, carefully crafted speeches of other senators, weighing every word, every nuance for his vote, along with those of his peers, could significantly influence the outcome of matters critical to the republic or empire. Distinguished orators, masters of rhetoric, rise to present their diverse viewpoints, employing all their learned eloquence, citing historical precedents from Livy or Polybius, quoting relevant laws from the 12 Tables or more recent edicts, and appealing passionately to the patriotic sentiments, the emos maiorum, ancestral customs, and the personal ambitions of their esteemed colleagues. Sometimes these crucial debates drag on for many hours. From morning until dusk, passions flare, sharp accusations are made, fervent appeals for unity or action resound through the hall. But ultimately, after all arguments have been heard, decisions are made by voting, often by senators physically moving to one side of the chamber or the other, pedibus in sententiam ire, to go to a vote with one's feet. Lucius, as an experienced and astute politician, navigating the complex currents of Roman power, knows precisely when to speak with force and conviction, and when it is wiser to remain silent and observe. He understands the delicate art of when to seek compromise and build consensus, and when to stand firm and unyielding on his position for what he genuinely believes is for the ultimate good of the state. He often remembers the illustrious deeds of his ancestors, many of whom had also served Rome in this very Senate, and he feels the immense weight of responsibility resting squarely upon his shoulders, the profound responsibility for preserving the hard-won peace, the established order, and the continued prosperity of the vast and multifaceted Roman Empire. After the Senate session, which might conclude by midday or stretch into the afternoon, depending on the urgency and complexity of the matters discussed, Lucius may proceed to one of the grand basilicas, such as the Basilica Julia, if he has ongoing legal cases to attend to, or if he is acting as an advocate for one of his clients or friends, a common practice for men of his standing. Roman law was a complex and ever-evolving system, and active participation in legal proceedings, whether as a plaintiff, defendant, or legal counsel, was a common and expected part of life for many influential senators, allowing them to demonstrate their profound legal knowledge, their sharp intellect, and their polished oratory skills before a public audience. Then it is time for the prandium, a second breakfast or a relatively light lunch, which could be quite modest and eaten hastily if time was short. Perhaps some cold meats, vegetables, and fruit, or it might be a more leisurely and politically significant business lunch with other influential figures, fellow senators, wealthy equestrians, or military commanders. During such convivial yet purposeful meetings, often held in a private room at a respected copona or at another senator's domus, important political alliances were subtly forged or reinforced, complex financial deals were discreetly negotiated, or simply the latest news, official pronouncements, and a juicy gossip, always an integral and relished part of Roman social life, were exchanged and analyzed. After lunch, should his public duties permit, Lucius might dedicate some focused time to managing his extensive agricultural estates, which could be located in Italy or even in the provinces, dictating detailed letters of instruction to his villagei, his estate overseers, concerning crop rotations, slave management, or the sale of produce. Or he might choose to immerse himself in the study of Greek philosophical treatises, perhaps Stoic or Epicurean texts, in the quiet solitude of his well-stocked personal library. He might also decide to visit one of the famous and truly magnificent Roman thermae, the grand public baths, such as the opulent baths of Caracalla or the sprawling baths of Diocletian, which were far more than just places for achieving personal hygiene. They were vibrant social and cultural hubs. The thermae were true centers of Roman daily life, where one could not only bathe in a carefully orchestrated sequence of pools, the caldarium, hot bath, tepidarium, warm bath, and frigidarium, cold bath, but also engage in various forms of physical exercise in the palestra, receive a massage with scented oils, read scrolls in the public libraries, admire sculptures and mosaics, or simply socialize and relax. Here, in the steamy, echoing, and relaxed atmosphere, amidst clouds of fragrant steam, the constant splash of water, and the murmur of countless conversations, senators like Lucius met with friends and peers, informally discussed affairs of state or business, discreetly made deals, and rested their minds and bodies from the unceasing pressures of their demanding public duties. Towards evening, as the intense heat of the long Roman day finally begins to subside and the shadows lengthen across the city's monuments, Lucius Valerius returns to his domus, where the main social and culinary event of the day awaits him, dinner or the cena, a meal of great cultural importance. The cena was not merely a perfunctory intake of food, but an important and often elaborate social ritual, especially if, as was common for a man of his station, guests were invited, close friends, valued political allies, visiting dignitaries, or renowned figures of the arts, such as poets or sculptors. Guests, having removed their sandals, would recline on special cushioned couches, arranged in a U-shape in the triclinium, the formal dining room, around a low, often ornate, central table, while attentive, well-trained slaves served a succession of exquisite and artfully prepared dishes, perhaps imported fish with rich sauces, roasted game birds, choice cuts of meat, a variety of fresh and cooked vegetables, exotic fruits, and, of course, copious amounts of carefully diluted wine, often sweetened with honey or spiced. Conversations flowed as freely as the wine, ranging from serious discussions of politics, philosophy, and recent military campaigns, to lighter topics such as literature, the latest chariot races, theatrical performances, scandalous city events, or simply the sharing of amusing stories, witty anecdotes, and clever epigrams to entertain the assembled guests during the leisurely courses of the meal. Professional musicians playing the lyre, the cithara, or tibia, double pipes, might be invited. Graceful dancers, often from Greece or Spain, might perform intricate and alluring routines, or acclaimed poets might recite their newest verses, hoping for patronage or critical acclaim from the influential audience. Lucius, as a gracious and accomplished host, ensures that all his guests feel comfortable and well attended, skillfully guides the lively conversation, making sure everyone is included, and genuinely enjoys the stimulating company of his friends, family, and esteemed associates, fostering bonds of amicizia, friendship, that were crucial in Roman society. This is a cherished time for mental and physical relaxation after a demanding day, for the vital strengthening of social and political bonds through shared pleasure, and for the refined enjoyment of the many fruits of the advanced civilization that he and his senatorial colleagues were honor bound to protect, preserve, and diligently develop for future generations. After the last of the guests have finally departed, their farewells echoing in the now quieter atrium, and a sense of peaceful calm descends upon the house, Lucius might spend some precious, tranquil time with his immediate family, perhaps discussing household matters with his wife, the domina, or engaging in gentle play, or educational conversation with his children, if they are old enough. Then, weary from a long day filled with myriad duties, weighty responsibilities, and constant social interactions, he retires to the privacy of his cubiculum, his mind perhaps still replaying key moments of the day's debates or conversations, and already beginning to formulate plans and strategies for the morrow, for the ceaseless demands of Rome never truly slept. He thinks of Rome, its glorious past, its complex present, and its uncertain future, pondering the role he is destined to play in its great, unfolding history. And with these profound